Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 12 of FortressCraft Evolved. Nice. I'm still working on the advanced power grid, but luckily I've knocked out pretty much all the requirements. We're just waiting for a few simplified experimental pods, one of which should be coming our way right about nowish. Nice, there it is. So there's a set of 10 being crafted right here. As you guys know, I like to build in sets of 10 with these things. Really big on my to-do list relatively soon-ish is to clean up this giant mess that I call a research station. Like, it is just sloppy, but it's actually pretty quick in terms of how much power there is. We've got 1, 2, 3, and then on top is a fourth set of sides that are all built with the generators and the hopper in the middle and all that good stuff, generating a ton of power. Trying to basically just make this thing research as quickly as possible, which as you can see, it's going pretty fast now because we've got so much power being pumped into it. And then we've got even another set here, so this is like 1, 2, 3, 4 generators on this thing, all beaming power directly into the batteries and everything. So plenty of juice making its way into these things. And then this guy's got about 3 generators on him. We've got 3 stampers here making plates. We've got the one setup of things making the PCBs. So long story short, it's a mess, but it's a functional mess. So I hope that counts for something. Good news, everyone! Advanced power grid is complete. Nice. So I'd like to check out if that unlocked any recipes. I think I had 16 before, so I'm thinking it didn't specifically unlock anything in this recipe tab. However, I should have some new things I can make. Organic solar panels, nice. That's cool. How much does an organic solar panel produce? It doesn't tell me exactly how much, but as you can see, because it's organic, it requires some of these resources like the pristine and the heavy and the pristine light. All right, so basically anytime you see anything with organic in it, like organic power storage, for example, it requires some of the organic materials like organic rock, which we found underground, and then pristine versions of the items that mobs drop. Now luckily there is a way to craft these items, and I just have to figure out where they're listed. Is it in, yes, here we go. Pristine heavy chitin can be crafted from 5 recombined organic matter, as can pristine light chitin. Pristine stingers and fluorescent glands require 15 of them, as do some of the faceted eyes. Some of the larger faceted eyes require much more. So you can get these from killing the mobs that are attacking your base. You can get them by attacking the mob's base, which I don't think we've checked out yet. And you can get them, I think that's what part of the cryogenics research is for. I think it allows you to break down the ruined animal parts and combine them into useful animal parts, which would be nice. We could also check out advanced defense. Let's check out cryogenics, I think. That might not be a terrible thing to investigate here. So it's going to be 25 complex, 50 simple, and 50 basic. So it sounds like we're going to need a lot more copper and tin. Something else I've done is you might have noticed that my manual smelting operation here for the tier 2 ores is missing. That's because I moved it over here. Check that out, huh? Nice and organized. So I just, between episodes, created a couple of these hoppers here, and you can see them doing a good job producing the tier 2 ores. And of course these hoppers are still running automatically, and we're getting a ton of stuff coming this way, and everything's actually working really well. Something else I'd like to look at maybe this episode is getting some crystals from underground. We can actually get those now, and I should check. Let's see. Do I have... I want an ore extractor. Check. I'm going to want probably an enhanced drill, so let's make a basic followed by an enhanced. And then we're going to make sure that we've got some storage hoppers on us. That's good. Make sure we've got some power storage blocks on us. That's good. Let's also be sure that we have a steel cutter head. So I'm going to need some more low-grade steel bars. And then I'll make the cutter heads. I only need 1, but I'm going to make sure I have a few in my inventory, so that should be good. So I want to go down and get some of the crystals. Sounds like we're being attacked soon, which is fine. I'm sure either my base defenses will take care of that attack, or I'll die and I won't care, because it's not that big a deal when you lose stuff. So I'm going to jump down here. The reason I want to get crystals is we saw a crafting recipe last episode that requires crystals, and I wanted to talk about the crystals. So we're down here in the cold caverns. Let me turn on my light. And I believe not too far from here, we've got a couple crystal deposits. There's actually quite a few of them down here in the cold caverns. So you can see this giant crystal deposit vein, as is there one here. They don't have a particularly large amount of ore, some of them. So you can see that only had 2,400 ore. So we'd only get 240 crystals out of that before we'd completely tear through it all. Just want to check out. I guess this is as good as any because it's a decent size. Is this another deposit right behind it? Ah, that's cool. Nice, 289,000. All right, this is as good a place as any to build our mining operation. So let's sit down here. I'm not going to automate power to this guy yet, and I'll tell you guys why. So you'll notice drill stuck. That's because this is the first crystal deposit that requires a cutter head. This is why I told you guys earlier on that we wouldn't be able to... Let me turn off my headlight. Let me actually get an upgraded headlight this episode too. Remember I told you we wouldn't be able to mine these crystals yet? It's because of this. You need to have the steel cutter head in here before it's allowed to mine. And I'll go ahead and throw the enhanced drill in there too. Now the other thing that I'll let you guys know, I'm not going to go ahead and automate this just yet, if ever. Because there's actually pretty rare that you're going to need large amounts of crystals. Like you don't need them too much, at least as far as I've been able to determine, as far as I've gotten in the game. I haven't gotten all the way through, but from what I've played, you don't need like a huge amount of crystal deposits. So you can see here about a second later, and boom, this guy should start filling up. Nice. So I'm just gonna let this power just sit here and run, and maybe I'll come back later and get myself some crystals manually. I'll let this thing do its own thing. Let's get some light down here. That would be nice. Cool. Let's pop down to our tier 2 ore area because we're halfway there already. Pretty soon I'm going to want to start chugging along to tier 3. So let's see. Nickel ore 100, 100, and wow, perfect timing. These guys were just starting to get filled up, which would mean these guys are probably each at 100 as well. I threw down another storage block so that I would collect 200 ore per trip, just because I felt like that would be cool. So now I should have a decent amount of ore. Perfect. And I can bring it up and throw it into my machines upstairs that are now going to be able to smelt this much quicker than they would have before. Up we go. Woot. Grapple foo is working today. I do have fun with the grappling hook, I know. There we go. Caught ya. Like I said, when you're grappling up, try and get a good distance away from your player, because the further away you are from your player, the faster, I think, and further you'll travel. Beautiful. Sounds like some kills are happening up there. Nice. Oh boy, these guys are attacking like crazy. Come on, CPH, survive! I think the waves are getting, yeah, worse. So, CPH destroyed. Wah, wah, wah. Alright, Arthur, you recharge there. I'm gonna juice up from my gun. Like I said, not the end of the world when the CPH gets destroyed. It just needs to be rebooted and the attackers pretty much win. But I'll run by and collect all the loots that dropped. I should probably upgrade my base defenses relatively soonish. But let's get gold and gold. You and you. And nickel and nickel. Gold, titanium, and nickel ore. Nice. So by the way, downstairs, I just set up another conveyor thing that basically one of these dudes going into a hopper with 2 generators and 3 power storage blocks, each of which are underneath the smelters. And that seems to be working pretty well. So which one was nickel? This guy? Yeah. Sweet. So let's maybe... Do I want to check out cryogenics research today? I think that's the main one that I can look at. I just want to see if there's any projects that are available to me that I might be interested in more. Ultimate power grid would be cool, but I don't think I'm quite ready for that. Not really needing it. Advanced miner upgrades would also be nice because it gets us working towards a quarry, but I think we're doing all right in terms of mining speed and processing speed at this moment. So let's check out cryogenics, mostly because I haven't played with cryogenics before. I have no idea how it works. So we're going to be learning today, hopefully, or maybe next episode by the time this is done processing, how cryogenics works. So we're going to need some lithium, iron, and tin. So let's get the lithium processing, and I might want to clean up this system today. But we'll see. All right, let's come back in a minute. I'm also going to look at what the tier 3 power requirements are. So the Mark III laser transmitter requires like 100 each of the bars. So I don't really want to go down that path just right now. I'm wondering if I'm close to being able to automate my ore transfer upstairs. That might be possible. We'll see. But let's see, what else do we got here? Mark III power storage just requires some tin plates and a decent amount of titanium, nickel, and gold. But that gives you 5,000 power storage. That's kind of nice, too. All right, I'm definitely going to want to look at some of the Tier 2 energy transmitters, I think. But we'll come back in a minute. I want to poke around and see what else I might want to work on this episode. All right, guys, we are back, and I'd like to try to do something with all this power gen that I've got going on. And I've been tweaking and playing with different ideas in my head as to how I'd like to handle power gen and storage and transmittal around my base. Right now I've got a lot of disjoint power generators kind of all over the place, and it's a little bit of a mess. And I'd like to kind of tidy it up. Like, this thing here is just horribly ugly in my opinion. I'm going to leave it up though because I want the research stuff to continue to run while I'm playing with this. So I'll make a few more generators here just to kind of toy with, and we'll see, because they're, at this point in the game, not terribly expensive. Let's get about 10 of these guys. We should also make sure that we have a couple logistics hoppers. I don't think we're going to need much more than that. I wouldn't mind a few power storage blocks in addition to what I've got. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And we'll kind of expand this out as we go along. So I'm going to start the process like right about here. And you guys let me know kind of what you think. So I'm going to have a logistics hopper right about here. And on all sides of this logistics hopper, we're going to have generators on 5 out of the 6 sides. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Is that cool? So this thing will have coal being piped into it, right? And you can kind of rotate these however you want. I mean, we could really even have a generator sitting like this, so they all kind of look the same. Looks neat, right? And then surrounding these guys, I'm thinking I'd like power storage blocks. Something along these lines. Is that cool? So it's almost like a wall of power storage blocks in the front. Does that look neat? That's about what we're looking at here, right? So see that guy? Yeah. Now, in reality, we'll probably not want these guys here, I think. I'm trying to remember how I have this laid out in my brain versus real life. Let's see. So the next one, let's clear these out for the time being. So I think the other one we're going to have back here. So if I wanted to have, we'd put a generator here. With the hopper here. So I've got this backwards now, I think. Kind of wanted them staggered. Yeah, no, this is about right. Yeah, this looks good. Right, so then we could have a generator here, 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 and then these guys here, and another generator here, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides covered by the generator. And then we could continue having kind of the power storage blocks like this almost. Let me snag one more of those guys. And we might want to upgrade these to tier 2 power storage in a bit, but for now, tier 1 should do. So that kind of from the front here, it almost looks like... See, this guy kind of sticks out, and I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with that. If I want to let him stick out and place, like, power storage blocks here, or if I want to just remove him, because he just kind of is an odd man out kind of deal. We can rotate these guys so they all look pretty cool. Right? Doesn't that look neat? And then we've got power generators back here. And this is supposed to be a generator, not a laser. Right? Does that look good? And then we can keep going with this pattern. So we would have another hopper, say, here, on top of a generator. And we continue the pattern, right? So we'd have another storage block here, for example, and generator all around. That would be neat, right? I think that would be cool. So let's clear this out, because this is just a big old mess now. And let's give this a try. I'm not entirely sure how it's going to work out, because power storage blocks should transfer almost like instantaneously, but we'll see how well things work out for us. So let's snag a few more of these guys. So everything's kind of running and doing its thing. And then, of course, we're going to have conveyors that come back here and feed into the different hoppers and whatnot. I thought that would work out pretty well. That should be no problem, actually. So let's dismantle for now this ugly mess. Because I don't like at all how this looks. This is just horrible. It functioned well, but it looks ugly. And while we're at it, I can probably get rid of these ones as well. Same story. Functioned well, looks horrible. Much cleaner. Except we haven't done anything yet. So this is... I want to rearrange this stuff too. I think everything's pretty much done running at the time being. Yeah, he's kind of doing his thing. Could really use more power storage blocks. I'm going to say that these power storage blocks are not immediately needed at this point. So therefore we don't need this guy or any of these. See, if I rebuild this system properly, the power storage blocks won't be super necessary. We'll kind of leave the generators all around it though. It's amazing how much junk you place down and don't even account for. That looks pretty good. Let's remove these two. Okay. That should do. So the generators can still run and do their thing independently, you know, as needed to help speed up this operation. But what I think I'd like to do now is place down these. So we're going to want another generator here. Another generator here. Cool. So it's kind of like a wall of generators, if you will. Now, it looks pretty good, I think, from the front. And then we'll probably want these guys back here to kind of share. Just as long as everybody's interacting with everybody else, we should be good. Yeah, it should be all right. Now, do I have enough for one more set of these? Probably. So let's give it a shot. So we're going to want these three here. This is actually going to be a generator with a hopper on top of it, like that. Right. And then generators here, here, and here. Like I said, I haven't decided if I want a generator in front of this hopper. It's really, it could go there, but it just kind of looks a little bit funky, so haven't entirely decided what's up with that yet. Cool. So that should be pretty awesome. And I do want to make sure that all of my power storage devices are kind of touching each other. So like this guy is isolated from the rest of the power storage system. So I could do something like that, and he should be now part of it. That should work out. You know what I did? That's how I did it. Okay. Just like that. Okay, that's not terrible. What do you guys think? And then eventually we could have another one here, right? And then the pattern can kind of continue. All right, let's come back in a minute. I want to check this out. All right, guys, we're back, and I'm just laying out the groundwork for how this thing's going to work out. So I think I might have placed this a little bit. You know what I did? I did place this a little bit wrong. Let me fix this real quick. I put the outer edge on and then didn't take it off when I replaced it all. So what we should wind up with is a generator here. So let's do this. This is a generator. This is a logistics hopper. The logistics hopper should be every 2. That makes more sense. So we'll have, let's see, you here. Oh, so close. Yeah, now we're talking. That's more like what I expected to see. Okay, cool. And then, of course, this would be a generator as well. Yeah, doesn't that look better? Definitely. And then we can expand this out further if we want. We just remove this line, and then we go with another generator. But for now, I'm going to go with just the, I guess, 4 hoppers worth, and then we can expand as needed. All right, so let's fix this then. So what I'm setting up, obviously, is the conveyor system that'll feed this whole thing. Right. No generator behind it. Yep, that works. Cool. And then here, going up, and feeding in. And then presumably we would eventually have, if we wanted this to continue along this way, but we don't, so we don't need this. Here and here. Cool. So that should be good. As you can see, I made myself a little extra walkway there. Nice. So hopefully this works out as well as I want it to. I guess we'll find out in like a minute. I wouldn't mind this being a little bit faster. I guess we're gonna have to see how much coal this actually uses. And if I need to upgrade this to the faster conveyors. I also made myself some fancy new lasers. Woot! Laser Energy Transfer Mark II. This thing can transfer, what was it? I think 60-something per second? Yeah, 66 per second. So that's 6.5, let's say, of these generators per second. Because they produce 10, right? 9.7 per second, right? When oxygen's plentiful. So about 10 per second. So they should be about to do 6.5. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice. I think we've got a couple back here as well. Is that true? Oh yeah, this hopper definitely needs more generators. One more crafted, I think, will be good.
Crafting.
Yeah, that should be alright. So now we've got plenty of generator power ready to roll. And technically I should have these guys here. Yeah, that's looking really good. Alright, so now the coal's going to start making its way up there, and we should be in good shape. So the question will be, are we going to be getting coal fast enough on the slow conveyors to feed all the hoppers and all the generators that need coal? So for the time being, to speed up this process so we don't have to wait for backlog, I'm just going to manually put coal in here. And that should be good. I'll do the same on the front ones. And then we'll see if we maintain a steady backlog or not. So now, if we wanted this guy, so let's say we wanted to have power coming over here, right? We would put this guy here. We're going to go with our tier 7, or the tier 2 laser beam, which is a way cooler looking laser. Nice. Look at that, how fast it fills up that storage block. That thing filled up in like a second. It's so cool. What I think I'm going to want, though, is rather than the storage block, I'm just going to direct it straight down into there. That looks pretty good. Right? I think that looks cool. And then we'll see if these things all kind of do what we want them to do, which is feed this thing power as fast as it can accept it. So in order to really test this thing out, this guy is going to produce a bunch of power here, and you can see it's running pretty well at this point. I'm probably going to want, let's put a tier 2 power storage unit on this bad boy. So to make those is actually pretty easy. It's just 4 tier 1s and a few tin bars. Nice. So we'll pop this guy right here. And what I'm going to do, well, yeah, let's take this guy back for a sec. We'll put him here, and then I'll put my guns, which I don't think I have any of right now, but they'll be at the end. That'll be good. Nice. So I'll feed this guy a little bit of extra power. These guys should all start kicking on and running, and this thing's going to beam its power over. Cool. So we'll keep an eye on this thing and make sure it's running well for a bit. I'll be back in a minute. So guys, as crazy as it sounds, it looks to me like we're keeping our laboratory powered as much as we can. So let's see, these guys, all these generators here are producing power. They're empty, so it's not like there's a backlog in the generators. And it's actually draining a little bit here, but that's okay. These guys are doing kind of their job. I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot, guys. I like the tier 2 lasers, it's just that they're so expensive. I mean, they're not that expensive, but I definitely just used pretty much all of my backlog of the tier 2 ores, titanium specifically. Lots of titanium goes into those Mark II transmitters, and nickel, I guess. I was producing more nickel, and titanium I've had to use for this stuff as well. So let's throw another set of these. That should be cool. I wouldn't mind another set up here, and now that I've cleaned this area up, maybe I'll clean this up next. So by the way, I just noticed a big derp. I had placed one of the lasers in front of the generators. You probably don't want to do that. So I'm just tidying this up a little bit. Let's say I wanted to put this hopper here instead. There we go. And then I'm gonna, like I said, clean this up soon. But let's get these guys stored again in here. What else did I pick up research point wise? I think, oh, there we go, some of these definitely. Those are expensive-ish. Alright, that looks good for now. I really need to organize my inventory at some point, but it's a giant mess. What are you gonna do? Alright, that looks good enough for me. Oh wait, here's one more. Cool. So now we've got our power beaming over there pretty efficiently. I like it. See, they're doing a good job of sending the power over, and they're spreading out the power generation over a lot of the storage blocks there. So these storage blocks hopefully won't ever empty entirely. Hopefully. If they do, I'm going to have to do something about it. I'm going to keep an eye on this for a minute, be right back. Alright guys, just playing around a little bit here. So what I've discovered, actually, is like a good rule of thumb, is that these guys don't transfer that far along, so you can't really treat them as like a giant bank of generators, but having multiple storage devices touching the laser transmitters is probably plenty darn good. So that's actually pretty cool. I might wind up, just to save on resources, remove these, and I want to see how well, if I put these guys here, if that transfers just as fast. Because what it should do is transfer, according to the game developer, I want to say like 50% of its internal power a few times a second. So like it'll try and keep things going. So as long as this thing stays full, or at least close to full, I think we'll be in good shape. Yeah, it's looking pretty good actually. So we'll keep an eye on that thing. Nice. I like it. So yeah, we're doing pretty good on this laser setup here. I like it. It's actually working really well for me. And this thing's doing pretty good in terms of its power. I've just kind of been rearranging some of the laser transmitters. If you put too many laser transmitters on here, it will like drain the center of the battery, but not the sides. So that's why I have them kind of split up over the course of a couple areas. Because like basically for power to go from like this transmitter, like down, over, across, and all the way over here, it's not going to happen. It'll go about 2 or 3 blocks before it really starts to lose efficiency in terms of how far it can transfer. But I think this is pretty cool for now. There's some better power generation options later in the game that we'll probably be getting to soon-ish. But we've got a little bit of a ways to go before we can really get to that. Probably wouldn't mind throwing an organic solar panel together, but we're still working on that cooling research, the cryogenic stuff. So we've got a little bit more by way of simplified and basics. Let's see, are you guys kind of done with what you're working on? Yeah, that looks good. Oh boy, I am really low on tin and copper. It's a good thing that I massively automated this stuff. Looks like I'm getting attacked again. That's always fun. Nice, look at that. All this iron, tin, and copper popping in here. Loving it. Good. And these guys all doing what they should be doing. Alright. Looks good to me. Looks like we have a backlog of iron and lithium, but that's okay. We've got so much of that, I'm not going to worry about it. So the only other thing to clean up, I think, and make nicer now that we've got more resources. Let's see, I'll do copper just because that'll eliminate that need. I wouldn't mind having 2 sets of these that are just more efficient or a little bit better job of being set up. So I might work on that next episode, but for now, I think we've got a pretty efficient power system going here. Obviously, soon-ish, you know what I should do if I want this thing to actually run? Is have at least 1 power storage there so that the laser can run. But yeah, I think what we'll do is come back next episode. This system is actually running really well for me now, and I'm pretty happy with it. I have a couple more laser energy transmitters, but I've definitely burned through a lot, especially of my titanium, and a few other resources. So I want to get down, I want to get my tier 2 ores going. Pretty soon I'm going to want to automate getting them up here somehow. Whoops, I forgot to get myself. But I think now's a good wrapping up point, because I'm obviously not paying attention to what I'm doing as I'm talking. So, Ep12 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We will come back next time. We will work towards cleaning up that research system a little bit, and then maybe get some things going. That will be a lot of fun. All right, guys. Take it easy.